Welcome to Kicking It with FC Woodhaven. I'm Anthony Tocco, and tonight we have our New York City FC Ticket Raffle, and we're joined by Josefina Velez Tirado. Josefina, say hello.
Hi, so happy to be here.
Well, happy to have you here today. So tonight, we've been promoting this for the last 4 weeks. We have our New York City FC Ticket Raffle. We've been doing a raffle for the June 28th match against the New York Red Bulls. We have 3 prizes tonight. Third prize. Third prize is 4 tickets. Second prize is 5 tickets, and the first prize is 6 tickets. So we're giving away 15 tickets to the game against the New York Red Bulls, which is going to be a great game. So how does it feel to make your debut tonight?
I'm very excited to be here and to take part of such a special night with the tickets that we're giving away. And just to represent all my fellow team managers out there, shout out to all of you. Thank you for all the great work that you do, and we're looking forward to a great time.
You are so politically correct. You know, what's funny is that we're doing the ticket raffle tonight, and when we did our first raffle, you were here for the first raffle, and we actually did it live. And it was after that raffle I was actually on the way to do communion invitations, and we were in a car thinking about, you know what, that was actually pretty cool that we did it live. And it was from that night is where I came up with the concept for the show, Kicking It with FC Woodhaven. So we're here now, which is I think 6, 7, 8 weeks later. So, you know, it should be good tonight. So as far as you've been here 4 years now. And you have 2 boys with us, Ezio and Tiago. Tiago's on our boys U13. Ezio's on our boys U9. And how did you wind up at Woodhaven Soccer Club, being that you live in Jackson Heights?
I live in Jamaica, but my children go to school in Jackson Heights. And my son Tiago was born with soccer in his blood. And we were at an intramural program at Gachi. And he loved it, and he enjoyed learning skills and learning the game. And the president at the time suggested that I come over and check out Woodhaven Soccer Club. So we did, and I brought Tiago, was 8 years old, and you were forming Youth Fire.
Yes.
The Fire team.
At the time we had 2 teams, I think.
Right. You were forming U9 Fire. He came, he tried out. Once he started meeting his teammates, he became very excited, and we've stayed ever since. Tiago loves FC Woodhaven. Ezio started as a 2-year-old, but he first started with Super Soccer Stars until one day he said, "Mommy, these kids don't know how to play. All they do is cry. Please take me to Tiago's club." And that's how he came to developmental when he was 3-ish, 4.
Yeah, and I think the team that he's on now, the U9s, my youngest son Michael's on that team. I think we had about 4 or 5 on the same. Was it that first year, or
it was the first year? The second year. Second year, and those same children are still with U9, which is Michael, Benny, Alejandro, and Raul.
That's right.
They were the ones who scored the most goals always in developmental. And
Michael started out as far as on the field, holding his ear all the time. Really, felt like we were forcing him to play. But on the sidelines, he was great. It just got to the point where on the field, he wanted no part of it. But I think it was Alejandro's mom, Priscilla, who had that picture.
Yes.
When they first started.
Yeah, when they first started, and it's great to see them having grown a little more.
Well, I don't know about grown because they're still short, but their faces are still the same. But yes, they have grown a few.
It's been so wonderful
inches.
to see them develop and become friends and play together and learn together and unite.
You know, and then Tiago's first season, I think the first couple seasons. I always use the term taking their lumps.
Yes,
and,
not easy. We saw a lot of losing games,
yes, we did.
But they stuck together and they never gave up.
Yeah, that is one. Those are traits that I love to see in teams and players, because again, we constantly say if you stick to the plan, things will start to turn around. So it was good that they took their lumps, but it actually made them better, because we were able to get them where they needed to be.
And that team has done great things. They won the championship last season. And for a parent who started 4 years ago, taking all these lumps and watching these kids come together and actually win and be proud and grow was was so special.
I mean, I always say they all deserve it. That team deserved it even more because they had a rough 18 months. First 18 months was very rough.
Yeah.
You know, so being that you've been here 4 years, when you started, you were just a regular parent. You know, I see you wearing your soccer mom shirt today.
I'm wearing my soccer mom shirt today. Shout out to all the soccer moms for all your work.
Right. I mean, we'll touch on I guess your first couple years as just a parent, you know, and what you observed the first 2 years of the club, and then we'll get into, you know, the last 2 years.
So the first 2 years here, we saw teams coming together. We didn't have as many teams. Right. Developmental was also growing. It wasn't as structured. We didn't have 2 practices or 1 practice and 1 game. We only had the games, and your depth of coaches was very different. So those are the 2 things that have stood out the most. The experience in the coaches, the different teams that have been formed, the camps for the spring break, for the winter break, the opportunity, this 3rd practice that we now have with JP and Coach Ricky. So as a parent, I've seen a progression.
I mean, you know, you brought up camps. I mean, I'm going into my 5th year with the summer camps, and I remember year 1 like it was yesterday, where I did 2 sessions. I did a 9 to 12 and then a 1 to 4. I did the younger kids in the morning and the older kids in the afternoon. But I had maybe 30 kids in the first session and maybe 20 kids in the second session. And it was year 2 where I went to the 1 session and started combining, and from there is where it just grew. But 4 years ago is where I really put the plan in motion to really change everything, you know.
And we've noticed even by your organization, the way that team managers communicate with the parents and the information that we have access to.
You know, and that's what I mean. You brought up team managers, and again, you know, we do a lot of joking on the sidelines and on the field, and you know, we have some wonderful team managers.
We do have wonderful team managers.
And again, I'm not the easiest person to deal with on an everyday basis, but you know as well that there's got to be structure, and it's got to be, if one team is run one way, every team's got to be run the same. Because especially with our club, we have so many teams where there's so many players that their siblings are on different teams. So if you get misinformation from one, you know, it causes
and we have it. U9 and U13 were one big family.
Yeah, there's how many players that?
Three players that have siblings, and we support each other, U13 and U9.
Right. So, I mean, throughout the night, we'll go into some stuff as far as how you've grown with the club and how much, you know, you are a huge part of this club. But I think, you know, everybody wants to get this raffle going.
Yes.
And again, Josefina's here. She's going to be picking them. We have the box here, as everyone can see.
Right,
all right.
June 28th game.
The raffles are here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to start with the 3rd prize. So I just want to get it out there. We're starting with the 3rd prize, which is going to be 4 tickets. So the winner's going to get 4 tickets, June 28th against the New York Red Bulls. It's going to be, that's going to be a great game. I mean, before we do that, you've been to how many games?
2 games now, and they are wonderful. We went to the home opener, which was such an exciting experience. We followed soccer for such a long time, and to see that VB, so close.
Right.
And to see them win and just be there in the atmosphere, it felt like being...
Yeah, I mean, and I had said it on the show, the atmosphere for that home opener was almost bone-chilling. I mean, and again, I'm a Yankee fan. I've been to Yankee games. I'll go to Yankee Stadium for Yankee games. It was actually my first time in Yankee Stadium for a soccer match, and I really didn't know what to expect. And it was electric. I mean, you know, we were well represented that day because we had, I mean, I had people coming up to me that I knew that are like, wow, this is Woodhaven people all over the place.
It was great.
You know, that's why we support New York City FC 1,000%. And as a reason
and they recognize us. They always say hello.
Yeah. No.
Pedro Suarez.
Yes.
Always says hello. He's always
definitely the man. But again, it's exciting to. It's a baseball stadium, but the way the setup is, it's great to go there and watch games. And again, you've sat in the 300s.
Yes.
And you've sat in our club seats.
Great seats, both.
You know, and again, club seats are great, but sitting up, you know, from what I hear, it's great to see.
You were able to see the entire field, and taking your child to a soccer game who is a soccer player is the best learning, the best teaching moment you can give them, because they are actually seeing what they've been learning on the field and what they themselves as players have tried to do. And it's great to see even some of the mistakes that some of the players, professionals, players make, and they learn from that. And just the whole environment at Yankee Stadium is great.
Right. You know, and that's another thing. In a little while, I'm going to have a special announcement, because we're able to have an on-field experience during this game, the June 28th New York Red Bulls. So I'll announce what that experience will be, and, you know, all the particulars from there. So no one wants to hear us talk anymore.
No, they want to know. They want to go. They want to go.
We're going to shake this up. All right. And remember, we're picking the third prize right now, which is the winner gets 4 tickets. So there you go.
I'm not looking because, you know, to be impartial. There you go.
Okay. Wow. You're talking about being impartial.
Oh, yes. I hope he's watching.
The winner is Julio Rodriguez, how actually is this?
Julio Rodriguez is a friend of mine.
Okay.
He's a fellow Ecuadorian. He's a brother, and he loves soccer, so he's going to be so excited.
Right, because I see it was sold Julio. From the U9 Red Bulls, which is Josefina's team.
All right, Julio.
So Julio Rodriguez has just won 4 tickets. That's third prize for June 28th against the New York Red Bulls. And I just want to remind everyone, that's a 5 p.m. start. 5 p.m. start. So I'm glad we have the first winner.
Yay.
So we'll put that on the side. Being that Josefina knows the winner, I don't have to make the phone call.
Hola, Julio.
So, well, that's good. So we got the first one out of the way. All right, so let's get back into your role. And again, the last 2 years, which when we formed, I think it was with the U9s, when we formed them, you became the team manager. And I mean, let's talk about the U9s first.
The U9s are a great team. They're actually the best team at FC Woodhaven, not because they're my team.
I can't listen.
No, they're a great team.
I've been criticized over the years of having favoritism for teams that my children have been on, and that really has never been the case. But so we can't. They are one of the best teams.
One of the best teams of FC Woodhaven. The great thing about this team is that the majority came from the developmental program, and I've had the privilege to watch them grow. Not only physically, though you kind of down me on that, but in terms of their skills, in terms of playing the game, of understanding the game, of not giving up, trying to be better. They're a really good group.
And again, you brought up the key word of not giving up, because this team, first season, the games weren't even close. But I remember one game, I think they were losing 7-0, 8-0, and they play like the game is. And we tell the kids all the time, 0-0, 0-0.
Right. Play to the whistle.
They believe it. They could care less what the score is. That's one thing with this team as we keep developing them. And we do have to keep in mind, I think majority of the players are playing a year up.
They are.
So that's them being small is, they are playing a year up, but they are still developing. They're getting better each and every training session, each and every game. But the quality the best quality they have is they don't give up.
They don't give up.
Which is good, because they don't get deflated. They just keep playing, which is good. So
so that was for 2 years now, almost 2 years with U9. They started as U7.
Right.
Now they're U9.
Yeah, because they were the first team that, I mean, what we do now with our developmental league is we put out pre-travel teams in the developmental league.
Right.
They were actually
the first
well, actually, no, them and the U10s were in there. But, that's something that I love doing with the developmental league, by putting the pre-travel teams in, because that's another way of working out the kinks. But when we formed that team, they were still in between of trying to get the new curriculum in, and so we were making that that change. So they were still on the outside looking in, but they're catching up, and they're going to get better.
Your whole pre-travel setup is great because they get to wear the uniform. They start to identify with their club. They have a game they look forward to every single Saturday. They have opponents that many times are much older than they are. So it really prepares them well to the travel when they have to travel.
And it's also good for the developmental league players and the parents to see that, because they're like, oh, who's this team with it? You know, so they know, you know, it's almost an incentive for the players that want to try out for our travel teams. Because I say it all the time, the reason why I grew the developmental league and I put so much into the developmental league is that's the foundation of the club.
Yes, it
right?
is.
And you see the numbers.
Yes, it is.
You know, your nephews are actually.
My nephews.
Yeah.
Joaquin and Xavi, and my niece Elisa.
That's right. Yeah.
She just started. So it's a great way to introduce a child to soccer and have them play in a recreational setting. However, it's not really recreational because Mondays you have all the skills training. Yeah. They learn proper ways to pass, dribble. They learn the laws of the game, and it's very well structured, and the coaches are fabulous. Nikki and her sister Destiny were both SES coaches, and he still remembers them and what Destiny taught her and how excited she always was to see him and how she encouraged him.
You know, it's true. Nikki and Destiny, listen, they've been here now. They started when they were young. They were on. I coached them on the U16 Wildcats, which I've spoken about that a couple shows ago, where they drove me crazy. But you know, it was absolutely. You know, and I always tell the players that get older that you will always have a home here. You know, and again, not only is JP and Ricky, who's on the top of our coaching pyramid, they're constantly learning. You know, we're trying to develop our coaches as well, because there's a future here for them. You know, so
and even some of your referees. My son is volunteering. We're trying to instill in him give back. Right. That whole sense of giving back, and he loves it. That he can come in and see these small kids, these 5-year-olds play and grow himself as a player. It's funny
that you said that, because on our U17 team we have Christopher and Brandon, who have also been here since they were young, and I use them as referees.
Yeah, it's great.
And they've been reffing the games for my boys U6, who's our pre-travel team, and they are phenomenal.
I think that it's great. It builds ownership. That you can come back even afterwards.
And after the first game, they came to me like, I can't believe how good these kids are, because they see. And again, I wish it was like that 8 years ago when they were younger, but they see what we're trying to do with the younger kids. And this past Sunday, Coach Carlos was ill, so I had to cover the game. And I used it as a reference where I said to Christopher and Brandon, I said, listen, you've seen my U16. You see how they play.
Right.
Okay. This is what we need to do from the younger kids all the way to the older kids. And they told their teammates, now these kids can play, and you know, so it's good when the older kids see what we're trying to do with the younger kids.
They can appreciate it. Right. They can appreciate it.
You know, and again, when it gets to the point 4 years from now, when our U13s are now in that, you know, they've been in that structure, that what we're trying to do. So it's definitely, you know, again, when it comes to the developmental league, there's so much good that comes out of it, from the coaches to the training to the structure to putting our pre-travel teams in. And again, the developmental league has grown each and every year. In the fall season now, we are now moving to calendar year, which makes it a lot easier, because here's what happens. You know, when you tell a parent, well, you're born from we go from August to July, all right, and you're a U8,
right?
And their classmate wants to join the developmental league, but if they're born in June and the other one's born in August, they're in two different age groups.
They want to be together.
So now what we have done is we've moved to calendar year. All the divisions will be from 2011, 2010, 2009, and we're going from 26 teams now to 38 teams.
That's great.
And we're moving to now 4 days a week, where we're going to have Mondays and Saturdays and Wednesdays and Sundays. So it's just, it's growing, which is great. But most important thing is the developmental league is the foundation of the club.
And it's just great to have even the conversations that go on between the parents on the sidelines, and how they see their children improve, and how, and like you said, they always find it curious to see their pre-travel
Yes.
teams. And they're usually I'm on the sidelines and I'll get questions. I'm wearing the Woodhaven shirt or something, and they'll ask me, "What's that team? How can I be involved?" And so it's great to have pre-travel with developmental, because it gives them a goal or a pathway. They can actually see the pathway. I'm starting here, and my child eventually can go here, and they can understand the transition.
And again, our two youngest teams, our boys U7 and our boys U6, are two teams where we had open tryouts to form those teams. And in the past, we would have to start a new team. We would have open tryouts, and basically whoever showed up made the team. And again, that was, is that good? Not really, because you're not, it's a tryout.
Right.
Those two teams, though, are two teams where we started where we had tryouts and the numbers were large, where you were able to, and what I do is, anytime we start the new teams, I'm heavily involved in those teams. Okay. One, I want to start every brand new team that we form.
Right.
All right.
In the same, in the same manner.
Two, it's also, when I start the team, the first thing I do is I tell the parents that, listen, this is a tryout. Just doesn't mean that you show up, you make the team. We're looking for certain things. Now, again, we know at 6 years old, we're not finding superstars.
Right.
But we're looking for athletic kids. We're looking for kids that can pay attention, kids that we know that we can develop. And again, with the U7s, there were probably 7, 8 kids I didn't take, but I told the parents, listen, don't give up. This doesn't mean that next year, child's not going to make it. The year after, and again, travel isn't for everyone, and the other thing is, when we form the teams, I also let them know the commitment, where it's not just about showing up, it is a commitment. It's a financial commitment. So they need to know everything going in. So that's why, and that's why when the teams are first formed, I'm heavily involved in it. And currently I'm coaching the boys U6, which with Coach Giuseppe, which again, Coach Giuseppe is basically my co-coach, because he has become my protege. So I'm molding him into taking that team over. I joke around though, I don't know if I want to give up the reins that quick, because I'm so attached to those boys already.
They're they're developing
and in such a short time, because basically we really started with them in indoor, and seeing what they're doing already, but again, it's structure, it's putting in a plan,
and they can do it. And I saw them passing. I saw them this past Saturday.
It's something. And again, I'm very listen, there's a lot of different coaching styles, all right, and that's why we give each one of our coaches our curriculum, the binder, but each coach has a different coaching style. My coaching style is very hands-on, being on the field and constantly,
I think that at the younger age group, you need to be hands-on, and you need to be close to the.
And what we're doing with them is, in years past, it was all about, we want the kids to have fun. It was that fun mentality. Now, don't get me wrong, I want kids to have fun, but they need to know from the beginning when it's time to work and when it's time to have fun. So we're instilling that discipline with them. But they are great kids. That entire team has come from the developmental league, which I'm most proud of.
It's a lot like your girls' team, your U8, which I also was able to see their first half on Sunday, their game. And girls, you are great. Wonderful.
Yeah,
wonderful.
As long as you brought in with the girls, we'll stick with the theme. And again, the girls U8 have Coach JP has done a great job with them. But that'll lead us into our girls U11, because this past weekend they had their round 2 of their Long Island Cup, and it was an exciting game. I mean,
I'm sorry I missed it.
Yeah, we found ourselves down 2-1. We got it to 2-2, and at the end of regulation, it was tied. So we needed to go to.
And these girls have come a long way. Also, they've had their bumps in the road as well.
I had this conversation with Kevin. I believe it was Monday. I posted something on Instagram with their team picture and hashtag hard work, dedication, amazing
they do
team.
Work hard. They work
those girls, and I can say this: majority of those girls, when we started that team, because again, it was back into if you showed up, you made the team.
Right, right.
Majority of those girls never played the game. Never played the game. And to
You
see
couldn't tell that now.
the hard work that they have put in, you know, and again, with that team, they were started with Coach Lauren. From Coach Lauren, they went to Coach Amber, who both of them did a wonderful job with them. But then now they are with Coach Penny, and he has done a remarkable job. About 3 weeks ago, he couldn't make one of the sessions, so I covered a session, and it was a while since I had covered a session with them. The last time I had covered a session with them, they were, you know, they're girls. So sometimes I rub them the wrong way, and you know, they're very sensitive, and so I didn't know what to expect. But I told the girls after that session, that was the most fun I've ever had, because I'm watching the development, watching from the last time I did their session to now. I mean, these girls, they give you 1,000%.
They do. I have seen them on the field. They give 1,000%.
I mean, they are,
even when they're down, they still.
And again, over the years, they have become a true team. It's not, that is a team that's not about one player. It's about every single one of them.
And can I tell you, their team manager, Jasmine?
Yes.
I've learned a lot from her. She's great.
And again, we know Josefina's always politically correct.
I know. No, seriously. She's taught me when those girls are on the field, they're her girls, and she's aware of what they're doing, that they're safe. And that's the same thing that I've tried to apply with my boys.
And again, and that's another thing with our team managers. Our team managers are wonderful. And, you know, you guys do an amazing job with
we do,
running your teams. And again, it goes back to, I am not easy to deal with. But I think you guys realize what I deal with day in and day out, because it's not the easiest thing to deal with. But, you know, so yes, the team managers are great. All right, you heard me say it.
You heard him. We're great.
But you know, again with the girls U11, you know, we got into the second overtime, and watching that goal go in, I think I was the first one that ran on the field, because it was golden goal.
And it went overtime, correct?
It was second overtime.
Second overtime.
You know, it was golden goal.
Wow.
And they scored. It was about a minute left to go in second overtime until we were going to PKs. You know, and that was great. And the day before, our boys U15. You know, played a very physical Massapequa team, and they were able to defeat them 3-0 to advance in the cup. So currently we have 2 teams left.
Great.
And Monday morning, when we checked the brackets, we got 2 surprises, because the first surprise is with the girls U11 that they got an automatic bye in round 3, so they're automatically going to the semifinals. Which is great. So their game, I believe, is going to be Sunday, May 31st. And we have our boys U15 is going to be playing May 9th.
May 9th at home.
Which, again, the emails have been going out.
Yes.
I would like to see everyone possible, including the developmental league, to come out on May 9th at 2 p.m. to watch the boys U15. Because if the boys U15 advance, all right, they're playing Franklin Square. If they advance, they automatically go to the finals at Stony Brook on, I believe it's June 20th. So May 9th is going to be a very special day. So,
and this is another team that's had its lumps along the way and changes.
Yeah, the boys U15. I mean, we have some players that are boys U14 playing boys U15. Coach Ricky's done a great job with them. We've had some turnover with them. My oldest son used to be on that team. But that is a team that's gone through some transition, and again, it's great. They're right now, they haven't lost a game this season. The girls, so the two teams that have advanced in the cup are representing Woodhaven soccer, and are both undefeated in the league, undefeated in the cup, which is great to see. But again, May 9th is going to be, you know, over the years I like to put on hooplas, and May 9th is going to be an event where I want everybody in orange.
Yeah, and it feels great when we can come together and support one another. We're all in this together.
You know, and I say it all the time. Woodhaven is on the jerseys. All right, we all play for Woodhaven.
Exactly.
You know, and we're all one. And again, united we play, united we win.
Exactly.
We're all united, and that's something that I truly believing that you have to, whether it's a boys U6 team, a boys U17 team, a girls U8, girls U11, it's all about the entire club. Because again, we are a family.
Exactly. We are a family, and we suffer together the losses. We celebrate the wins.
Yeah, and
we freeze on the field.
And you know what? Over the years, I have mellowed a lot because there have been weekends where losses devastate me. But again, I have learned a lot over the years, and realizing that you have to develop players. It's not about winning and losing, all right? And I've become a lot more positive after losses, and I think that's only because I know we're doing such a better job. And I also realize you can't win every game.
No.
Our boys U11 on Saturday had a bad loss, but you know what? The other team was good, really good. And there are days where you have to say, you know what? Okay, we're not there yet.
Yeah, and you grow from these losses because you grow from your mistakes. Right. Soccer is about making mistakes on the field and not repeating them and trying not to do better.
And again, I'm all into this 75% positive result, and I'd like to see positive results. And again, I realize you can't win every game. No. All right, but over the years, we've had weekends where they were terrible weekends. And it would eat away at me, but now I put everything into perspective and realize, okay, it's next week. We'll get back to training and next week, and
and we'll learn from
but again, there are, especially with the younger ones now, because I tell the coaches and I tell the parents, I honestly could care less of the results with the younger ones, because we are developing them and mistakes are going to happen, and it's just about correcting them.
Exactly.
That's what it's about. So the younger teams, it's a lot easier because we know that they're young. The mistakes are going to happen. It's how we bounce back and correct the mistakes. So, but it makes it a lot easier knowing that we're on the right path on what we're trying to accomplish. And again, which brings into, your last 2 years now with the club, where you are a huge part of this club. And you were part of the meetings that we had before the season started. You see what our coaches get.
Yes, I do.
You see what we're trying to do. So give us your take on where we are now.
Yeah. These, especially the last year. Last year where you've put together a curriculum for the coaches to follow, where the team managers and the coaches were on the same page. I've been able to see, these things had to be implemented in order for this development of a player to occur. You need a plan to see your goal fulfilled.
Right.
And it's been great. And for that very reason, I decided to do the D course and the C course, because I want to be an asset. I have my children playing here. I have time invested, money invested. So why not learn the correct terminology?
Right.
The correct skills, the drills, and it's been wonderful. It's been eye-opening. Many times as a parent, you stand back, and if you've never coached before, you don't understand why coaches do some of the things that they do, and sometimes you misjudge or you form these opinions that are not accurate. It's not until you sit in a classroom and you do the drills on a field, and then you match that up with what's going on the field, do you realize, wow, a coach's job is challenging. Yeah. You have here children under your care that you're developing them. These not only for future soccer careers, but as athletes.
Yeah.
And to instill in them that love of soccer, which we have to instill in this country. Where I've learned that in other places, it's in our blood. In South America, we love football. We don't have to teach it, but here, with all the different sports that children have opportunities to engage in, when they come to soccer, we not only show them how to play, but you have to instill that love of the game. So once they stop playing, they'll still enjoy watching a game or playing with their siblings. Or
for me, and again, the hardest part we keep saying about developing the players, and the other thing we try to do is educate the parents, because we have wonderful parents in the club. Wonderful parents in the club. But it's very difficult because, again, the parents have their opinions, and it's a lot of times it's based winning and losing, and we're trying to let them know that, you know, it's not about winning and losing. We need to develop them. Now, and when I say it's not about winning and losing, listen, come 12, 13, 14 years old, a parent's only going to hear that so much.
Exactly.
Okay. And I totally get that because no one is as competitive as I am. All right. But we do stay with the younger ages. It's not about winning. Give us time. Let us do what we need to do. But it does make it difficult with the parents because you're always going to have opinions as far as, well, you know, my child should be playing here, or why is so-and-so playing here? And, you know, those are some distractions that we try to nip in the bud because it can hurt a team, you know, and that's something where with the team managers where I've said, you know, before a season starts, hold a meeting, get all the questions and everything out ahead of time so there aren't distractions that pop up.
Right. And the interesting thing is that it's not only FC Woodhaven developing the players. This is happening across the leagues. Yeah. In the different courses that I've taken, I've spoken with other coaches and listened to instructors who are saying it's not about winning at 5 years old. It's about developing your player. It's about that child having fun with the game. And our role as parents, one of the things that I've had to learn, because I've made plenty of mistakes on the ride home, is to encourage my two children, to tell them, I love to see you play. And actually, I do love to watch them play. I love to watch my U9 boys play as well, and the rest of the teams. And yes, losing is hard, but it's a mentality shift where if you see your child developing, if you see him growing, then we should celebrate that, and the winning will come. The winning will come.
For me, I have it in, and again, my oldest son John. I coached him when he was younger, and I say it. You know, I tell everyone this. I am amazed that he is still playing because what I put him through, you know, it's amazing to me, and I'm just grateful that we worked through it, and I was able to push aside while he was still developing because I knew, you know, that it wasn't the way to go. And that's where I've said I've matured and I've learned a lot. But now with my youngest son, Michael, where you see, you know, it is, I mean, if I'm at the game or if I'm at training, you couldn't even tell that to my son because I'm just so laid back. So I am watching him develop in such a different way than I did with John. And again, I think Michael is developing a lot quicker, which, listen, it's a different time. You're talking about 6-7 years difference, but I see it. So I have two different experiences, one that I experienced with John and now what I'm experiencing with Michael. And again, I was one of those parents that needed to change.
And you see this whole trend where there's a lot of push from U.S. soccer, from the other leagues, as to the need for parents to change their reactions and maybe the pressure we're putting on our children and put things into perspective. You know, these are not Messis and these are not Ronaldo Cristianos right now. In the future, yes, they will be or they can be, but right now we need to encourage and support them.
My thing is, and I get phone calls, I must get about 5-6 phone calls a week of parents saying, well, if my kid joins your club, you know, is he going to be a pro? Is he going to, you know, for me, it's not about that. For me is, and you know, I'm big on education. I want these players to get to college. Okay. And again, my statement is use soccer to further your education. And again, the more players that I can get playing in college, that means we've done our job. Now, because again, if you look at the percentages, it's not in their favor to become professionals.
No,
but again, if we can use soccer to further that and get into college, from there, anything can happen then.
Yeah, and today there's so many opportunities in soccer. It's not only being on the field. You can work for the New York City FC. You can work in their administration, in their business department, in their advertising. There's so many ways to continue to be connected with the sport, but it's our job to foster that love of the sport. and everything that our children go through in their trainings, in their developing, and their discipline, all of this will help them to be successful in whatever they choose in the future.
Yeah.
So it's a big responsibility that
right. And again, sometimes some parents just see, no, I want that scholarship. I want, I want my child to be a professional.
Well, Eastern New York just put out a video that I actually reviewed today, and it's sad. If that's your goal, it's sad, because if your child doesn't achieve it, it's not a failure.
Right.
I mean, there's so many other ways to pay for college, to go to college, to.
Yeah, and again, because right away parents think in their mind full ride, and again, it goes back to the percentages. The likelihood of that happening, it's, you have to put it to perspective, and that's why we pump out and preach academics, and because you know what, if you can get some money for soccer, some money.
And actually, in one of our meetings, one of the parents did discuss this, Kevin, where he said the scholarship wasn't for playing soccer. His son is a great soccer player. His scholarship was based on his academics and how well his academic record was throughout all of high school. And those are things that we shared in the U13 meeting, things that I as a parent did not know. We are misinformed, or we hear different pathways, but it was great that we had that meeting. That's one of the ways that we're trying to educate our parents.
And again, it's one thing where, listen, I'm very hands-on, and with me, it's straightforward. I try to be as honest as possible with parents. I'm not saying by no means are we the best club out there, okay? But what you see is what you get, okay? And we are going to do everything possible for your child. And it goes back to educating the parents. And we had that meeting, and every team now at U13 is going to have that same meeting. And then at that point, 2 or 3 years later, there'll be, meetings with college coaches, bringing them in. All we can do is give the information out. And again, I do have certain beliefs. And obviously, yes, I'm going to preach what I believe, but I always tell parents, I will never do for your child that I wouldn't do. Whatever I do for my kids, I'm going to do for your child. So it's never going to, I'm always going to put what's in the best interest for the player.
Yeah, but you're very fortunate. You have very supportive parents. It's not all bad.
Listen, we have great parents. We do have great parents. But and I think what helps is, again, we're honest with them, and they see. I think they truly see what we're trying to do. And then again, it's not always perfect.
No,
there's always bumps in the road. But again, that's all about
exactly, and that's what you want. You want growth. You don't want to be stagnant.
Because again, if there was a perfect pathway, everyone would follow it.
Yeah, and then we have a unique set of children, a unique set of players with a unique skill set, and you need to be unique to meeting their needs. So no, our club is different from other clubs, but it's great for our kids.
And what's not that it's funny, but again, I know a lot of people in the soccer community, and you come across different people, and the issues in every club are the same issues everywhere. I mean, you'll have, parent complaints or coaches complain. I mean, no matter where you go, it's the same thing
human
going
nature.
On. Yeah,
it's
the same thing. And you know what? It's not just soccer.
No.
It's baseball. It's every single sport. And that's what happens with youth sports. And again, once we can just realize that it's all about the players, it'll be a lot better. But you said about Eastern New York, and again, you saw the stat that they gave that kids by the age of 13
they leave.
They leave
soccer. They leave sports.
7 out of 10.
Yeah, it's very sad. It's very concerning. Yeah. And when they should be growing and trying, if soccer is not for you, there's so many other sports.
Right.
But if your child is here and he's been invested all these years,
and that's why I spoke a few weeks ago about the turnover rate in our developmental league. We have a high turnover rate because again, it's open to everyone. And we have players that come for one season, and you know what? It's not for them. They move on to something else. But I always tell parents where if your child's not going to continue playing soccer, I at least want to make them a fan of the game.
Exactly.
Because that's going to just keep, growing the sport.
Right.
So, but yeah, no, a lot has changed since day one that you've been here to now.
Positive changes.
And
there's still more to come.
There's definitely still more to come. Still have a few more tricks up my sleeve. But again, it's all about developing the players and just trying to get better. It's basically what it comes down to. So, well, I think it's time for the second prize.
I think everyone is anxious to see.
All right. Well, just to recap, Julio Rodriguez won 4 tickets. So he won the third prize. So now we're going to do the second prize, which is now 5 tickets.
5 tickets.
All right. So we'll shake it up again. There's a lot of pressure on you.
Yes, a lot of pressure.
I'm glad this is live.
Yeah, I'm not even going to look. Let's see. Here's one.
Okay. Wow. Again, it's live. Okay, it's live. We saw her pick it. And this is what happens when you buy more than 1 ticket. All right. The winner, second prize, is Julio Rodriguez again.
The whole family. It's a big family. They're going to love to go.
So he just won second prize, which is 5 tickets. So far,
shake this up good.
He's got 4 tickets and 5 tickets. So he's got a total of 9 tickets to the game.
9 tickets.
Now, who is this again?
Okay. Julio Rodriguez attends the same church that I do.
Okay.
And he is the son of a very, very, very good friend of mine, and we work together in our children's program at the church. And he actually went to the home opener of the New York City FC. He was there. He loved it. And when I posted on my Facebook page that we were holding a raffle, he immediately sent me a message and said, I want tickets. And he bought on good size.
Well, I mean, that's, and we spoke earlier before we went live that with the amount of tickets we had,
remember me?
There was a chance there could have been multiple winners.
We were talking about that. We didn't think it would actually happen, and both from you 9.
Yeah,
but,
wow.
Okay.
All right, let's put the cover back on this one. I think I'm going to turn it upside down because I don't even know what to expect with the next one.
The first prize.
All right, so we'll recap again. Julio Rodriguez, you won prize number 3 and prize number 2, 9 tickets.
I hope he's watching. And if you know him, call him and let him know he's a winner.
All right. So, all right, what I want to do now is I want to go into the special announcement for the New York Red Bulls game. All right. As everyone knows, we're a youth partner with New York City FC. And, well, one of the other things we put out there today was it was confirmed that the New York City FC mobile truck, which has inflatables, promotional items, that they're going to be at our camp. Last day of camp, August 21st, which everyone knows I love the last day of camp. This year we're going 6 weeks. We're doing 6 different weeks. If you haven't gotten your registrations in, I think now we're at 95% filled to capacity. And to be honest with you, there's about 65, 70 players registered for our camp that I don't even know who they are, which means that they're from the outside, which is great. They're from outside clubs, which is good. So, which means our travel players need to get the registrations in because I think 2 or 3 more days I'm going to have no choice but to close registration. So yes, the New York City FC mobile truck will be at our last day of camp, which will be week 6, August 21st. So that was one perk that we had. Another perk we had is our coaches chalk talk before a game. That's been set up for May 30th, where myself, Coach JP, Coach Ricky, I'm going to take a few other coaches, will get to actually meet with the technical staff. They're playing the Houston Dynamo that game, so that's on May 30th. So that's something where, again, our coach is trying to get better and meeting with the technical staff of New York City FC.
Yeah, these are one of the benefits of being a youth partner.
Yeah.
Because many don't understand what the benefits
Right.
are. And here they are, tickets and training.
Another benefit is going to be we have an on-field experience. And we were lucky enough to get the June 28th game against the New York Red Bulls. And this came about actually yesterday as I was on the phone with Pedro, called me up, and we can have 18 players on the field during warm-ups during the game. Okay. Now, it was between the ages of 12 and 14. So, which originally what we were going to do was we were going to have 11 players. They were going to walk the players in. But we got upgraded to having them on the field during warm-ups.
That's great.
Which is 18 players. So I had to decide what to do. Do we go with putting all the players in, which was difficult because I was told age 12 to 14. So listening to that, there was really only one choice, and it was an easy choice because our boys U13. They had a remarkable season last season.
They worked so hard.
And we've challenged them this season. We've entered them in the State Cup. They were in the Long Island Cup, the league. They moved up 2 divisions, okay? We're trying to get them to play quicker. We're really pushing them. And, you know, they've had some tough games the last couple weeks. We were able to get it right this weekend. We won a game, building on a momentum. But I think as a reward, what we're going to do, and, you know, I'm happy to announce this, that the entire boys U13 will be on the field during warm-ups against, you know, New York City FC versus New York Red Bulls that day, June 28th. So every single player will get a free ticket. So not only will they be on the field during warm-ups, they will also be able to stay and watch the entire game, you know, as a team. So, and I think that is, you know, rewarding to them because it's been a rough few weeks.
It has been rough.
You know, and we want to build on the momentum that they had from this past Sunday. And again, we've challenged them, and they're not in a situation that we think is overwhelming for them. But again, coming off a season they had last season. And during the meeting, I did say, listen, what happened last season was great. It's keep it, but that was last season. Now, you know, so.
And this is such a great reward because it's inspirational. It's going to inspire them and motivate them for how many young soccer players dream of walking on the field. You know, in hand with a professional soccer player or warming up with them.
And what they will be able to see, and again, here's another announcement. They need 2 chaperones. Okay, so Coach JP will be there. Bessie will be there, which I'm sure that's just made Bessie's night.
Yes. That's great, Bessie.
But I think the players will see that a lot of the warm-ups that the professionals do are the warm-ups that they currently do themselves. They do. You know, so this is going to be a great experience for them.
Unforgettable.
I'm happy for them. You know, and again, nothing against our other players. It was, you know, take the ages into consideration. You take the number. You know, this is a roster that has 18.
18 players.
You know, it just worked perfect. They're going through some tough times right now. This is a way of rewarding them, and you know, hopefully
it's going to be unforgettable.
It'll definitely be fun.
Unforgettable.
So, you have anything else before we do the
first prize, which I hope Julio doesn't win it?
You have anything to add? Anything you like to ask? Anything that you like to share?
Well, it's been great. It has been great the time that I've been able to spend as a team manager with the U9 and really seeing the growth in the club. It's encouraging because as a parent, you always want the best place, the best program, the best school for your child. you have great dreams for your children.
Yeah.
And for the Tirado family, we're happy to be part of FC Woodhaven.
No, listen, we're happy to have you guys, with your children. You, I mean, again, you are, listen, Coach Ricky, you know, if you ask Coach Ricky who the number one, because everyone talks about this number one team manager, okay? And again, I don't, you know, I'll joke around in different weeks and everything like that. But again, everybody does what they need to be. But I mean, you're on point with Coach Ricky.
Coach Ricky is,
I mean,
a good person to work
but
with.
again,
Coach
you are, again, you're almost hands-on also, because you're there watching the sessions. You're there, you know, for the talks, for when they come in, and you know, so you're hands-on and you see, you know, and that's the thing. Not only your parent, not only your team manager, you're a big part of the club, but you physically see it, and you're in there and you see what the coaches are doing and what we're doing. And,
well,
you know,
I take the team manager role very seriously. One of the things that I did learn from Jasmine was safety first. Always, I've never done this before. I've worked with children for many years, but never in the sports setting. And to have that on my shoulders, that I'm responsible for the safety, is very, very important to me. But not only that, it's a privilege to see these children. I find being a team manager a privilege, to be there and to see the club develop and grow. I'm excited about what's going to happen. My son is 7 years old. He has many years to go. Tiago's 12 years old. He has all his high school years, and I hope that he stays with FC Woodhaven. Not that we're going anywhere, but he stays here and he grows and he develops. This is where my children are. This is where our money is, and this is where our investment of time is. And
again, I do tell parents, you know, listen, this is an investment.
I mean,
it's not a joke. It's an investment.
Energy.
You know, but again, it's an investment that we know financially it's expensive, but we are giving you a service that, you know, it's not, because again, the attendance. I mean, practice is over, boom, you send in the attendance. We want to know if the players are there. And, you know,
exactly. It's not about the money.
No,
it's not about, you know, making yourself wealthy off of a soccer club. It's about developing these players, and part of that is the discipline. You have to be at practice. You have to be at the games. You need to be there an hour before. I take that all very seriously, and our U9 parents know that, and my own children know that. We take it very seriously because we're invested in what we enjoy doing, and you seeing the growth is rewarding.
And being on the sidelines with them, because again, we have some.
I love being on the sidelines.
I
love being on the sidelines with my team.
This past week, I mean, Lisa was on the sidelines also. And sometimes some of the players, you know, you have no choice but to laugh because they're so cute and they're just, you know, they're adorable. And then we have to realize they're children. They're children.
And they inspire you. They inspire you to be better. My team inspires me to go out and learn, go out and be better, understand the drills that Coach Ricky is doing, understand the warm-ups that Coach Marlon is doing, so that when I arrive there an hour before the game and we're waiting for the coaches, we can do warm-ups, we can talk about what we're going to do that day, how we're going to play. And if I didn't take those courses, or if I wasn't hands-on seeing it, it would be difficult for me. I'm very hands-on, and I like to know what I'm talking about, and I have so much to learn, but I'm excited.
And again, just so everyone knows, that's not something that I say, Josefina, you have, you know, or the team managers, you have to do this. This is something that you chose to do. Because again, as far as a team manager, it's just giving the information out to the team. You know, but you wanted to go that extra, which is, it's great, and Coach Ricky supports it.
I love soccer.
Coach Ricky supports it 1,000%. I mean, he loves it that you're trying to learn. I mean, we joke all the time that one day we're going to let you run a session and let him evaluate you. You know,
it's great.
But it's great.
It's great to be involved in your child's life. It's very important that they always see you. And that's my way of being around my children, and the privilege to be around other great children.
Right. I mean, you're on the field how many days? Well, actually worked out a little bit this season. Because now
one season I was on the field 5 days.
Yeah, we might have to change it around so this way.
Let's not. It's
you know,
working
we have some
great.
team managers that are there every day. So, But listen, it was great having you.
Yes, it was great to be here. So now we need to pick the winner.
Yeah, I don't know.
You have to shake this. Sorry.
Again, I'm glad it's you because all the fingers will be pointing to you. This is live. They're
live.
Watching it.
I'm not looking. I promise. I'm not looking. I'm not looking. I'm not
There we
looking.
go.
I'm not looking. Okay, first prize winner.
Okay, so we actually got somebody different.
Yay!
All right, this is first prize, which is 6 tickets to the June 28th New York City FC versus the New York Red Bulls. All right, and the winner is Christian Maradiaga. Am I pronouncing that correct?
Yes.
Which I believe is someone related to Bessie.
Yes, I think so too. With that last name, I believe so.
Yeah. So
I don't know Christian personally, but
yeah, I don't know, but
yes,
we do believe it's someone that belongs to Bessie. Which again, I have to say, all right, congratulations, Christian. Congratulations, Julio Rodriguez twice. All right. But I have to say, as far as this raffle, all right, I know you're sitting here, but Bessie did go above and beyond.
She did.
And pumped the raffles out.
Yes, she did.
You know, so it's only fitting that the first prize came to a raffle ticket that she sold. But Bessie did do an amazing job with the raffles. I believe she sold the most raffles. You were second.
Far second.
I did have a little contest between the team managers of who was going to sell the most, was going to be able to go see a game. Yeah. So Bessie's going to have to win that.
It's the U13 United night today.
Even though I will say this, Bessie is going to Sunday's game.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because Christine and Michael's communion party is Sunday, and it just so happened that it fell on the same day. They're playing Seattle, you know, Clint Dempsey, and of course, you know, we can't go to the game. So
and they've had a rough road of it lately. So
yes, they had. They do need a win.
They do need a win.
But so I'm sure it'll be a good game. So just to recap again, third prize went to Julio Rodriguez. Winner got 4 tickets. Second prize, Julio Rodriguez got 5 tickets. All right, so Julio Rodriguez got a total of 9 tickets. And I'll let you pronounce the last name. Christian
Maradiaga.
Oh, very nice. Won first prize, which was 6 tickets. Which, again, I don't know what the relationship is. Let me check my phone. Wait. Here comes Bessie now with a text.
Bessie.
That's Bessie's brother.
Yeah.
So Bessie's brother won 6 tickets.
That's great.
So that'll be good. So I'm assuming then he's going to give Bessie some tickets. So I don't have to give Bessie any tickets for that game. But congratulations to the 3 winners. I'm glad that the game went off. Coach JP just sent me an email that it's awesome. Very excited for the players for their on-field experience. And again, they deserved it. So again, this was great. This was actually our second raffle. First one was live also, which because of that first raffle is where Kicking It with FC Woodhaven was thought of. So and then we had our second raffle. This is actually going to be our last raffle. You know, maybe we'll do another one in September because I believe we have some group tickets for the July 12th game, which I believe is against Toronto. But again, we also, and that day, June 28th, was also our 3v3 tournament.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a long day.
So that tournament, and again, we know that tournament follows on point, so that tournament will end by 2 p.m. and we'll have to get there.
Time for the 5 o'clock game.
So again, we have our 3 winners, which we gave away 15 tickets. We also gave away 18 tickets to the boys U18, U13, 18 tickets to the boys U13, plus a ticket for Coach JP. Actually, and Bessie is going to have a ticket that day.
Oh, Bessie has too
many tickets. So maybe I can hold off a ticket since Bessie's going to be on the field, maybe her brother will give her a ticket. But again, as long as you're here, we'll also announce the what we're going to do is we want the boys U9 to come out to the game also, and Coach Josefina will send an email on what we have planned for the boys U9 for that game. Because again, I don't get caught up in the team names because again, we all play for Woodhaven.
Exactly.
But the boys U9 are called the boys U9 Red Bulls. So it's only fitting that the boys U9 Red Bulls come out and support New York City FC against the New York Red Bulls. So Josefina will send that email out on those particulars as far as that.
Very exciting game.
But again, you know, it's going to be
it's going to be great. June 28th.
Yeah.
And if parents, if you get a chance to go and see a New York City FC game, I encourage you. Even the $30 seats are great. I bought for the home opener.
Yeah, no matter where you sit.
And it was great. It really doesn't matter where you sit. The experience is so worth it. It's so worth it.
Yeah, and again, I think it's going to start this Sunday. They're going to get a win, get this turned around.
They need to turn it around.
You know, it's something where they're in the same boat our boys U13.
Yes, exactly.
You know, so they got a win last Sunday, and we're going to let the momentum.
Yeah, things happen. Look at the professionors. They get hurt. Things happen. Same thing. So. Yeah,
you know, maybe the coach should change positions or something. You know.
More player time. There's a lot of issues about playing time on the New York City FC. So.
Yeah. So. But again, I hope you have anything you want to add.
No, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
this has been a great experience.
This was fun.
I hope that the parents watching and the players watching had a good time too.
Yeah. So again, you know, we had our raffle.
Yes.
Josefina was here. It was a great night. And once again, thank you for joining us. This was Kicking It with FC Woodhaven.
Bye. Thank you.